Hey, how are you doing? Yep, pretty good, pretty good. We are expecting a guest today at 5:30, and that'll be a project for 15 minutes. We'll have a project to work on. There's a non-profit organization here that is called Mo's Heroes, and that focuses on homeless veterans and rehabilitation. And so the class is going to do work for them for free and get a testimonial from them on LinkedIn. So you cannot like make stuff up on LinkedIn. You actually do the work, then you claim you did it, and you no. So that's our idea. Some of us have done the homework. Let's go look at what Aaron says. First one, we have it here, but Aaron is not here. He's no. I'll tell you what he wrote. Aaron is here. I saw him. Yeah, and so we'll start looking at what they did. But before we get to that point, I think Brandon may have a question or two.
Oh, I need Arjun and Nico.
They'll be late because they come from like all the way long distance.
And if you say before I do, can you
I can do it for you.
step for them?
Which forms?
Gas cards.
I see. So you need to give them or get them?
I'm giving them.
I can have it to them.
They got a sign.
I see. Okay. Okay.
62.
Makes sense. Yeah, they'll be like at 5:30. They'll not be early.
I'll be here. I gotta do interviews now.
I see. Okay. You can grab a seat.
Listen to the speaker now. You want?
Yeah, yeah. You should. You should. Absolutely.
What's on PD 240?
So I think if you think this idea of doing such projects is not good, tell me that it is boring. We don't want to do it. And we have another partner, by the way, there, Goodwill, who wants to give us projects. And we will take these projects and do it. And so do it quick. Don't wait. Don't wait for me to ask you. Just send me email. What do you want done? We'll do it. Because we have 21 people, only 2 projects right now. I just told you about the second project. Right? So we are waiting to hear from you of projects you need us to do for you. And we'll do it. We will not provide you any support after they graduate. So that is clear. Once the class graduates, they will not be able to support you. So finish it right away, as quickly as we can. And once we finish it, we want to write about it in the LinkedIn resume, in our profiles, and get these organizations to give us testimonials, provided they like our work. That's a critical requirement. They need to like it. If they don't like it, they will not give you. There is no obligation for them to give us testimonial. We are just volunteering our work, right? Now, having said, so this is the second project. I want to remember the name of this organization. I tend to forget. The first one was Mo's Heroes, and this one is what? Yeah, it's called the nextchapter.com. That's the name. And the organization is called the Next Chapter, and it's a 5013C nonprofit charitable organization dedicated to empowering survivors of domestic violence to move forward something. So yeah, they're doing something good. Let's help them. That's our idea, right? So since we are lots of people, I want to have some kind of a team structure formed within here. People who will understand, interact with the customers and do the thing, and then other people who will make sure that actually implement it for them, and another set of people will actually go and train go as in through Hangout, train their volunteers, train their stakeholders as to what did we do and how do we actually make use of it. And that end-to-end solution is needed, because they may not have an idea what you just did for them. They need to know and actually use what you create for them, and that is critical. So the idea would be, I'm looking for now volunteers that will divide for the Mo's Heroes project before Latoya comes in next 7 minutes. What I would like to do is to identify groups here that will divide yourself in 3 parts broadly. And the 3 parts would be those who will interact with the customer, understand what they need, write that down, hand it off to the people who will actually do the work. That the second type of people will be the ones who are doing the work, the actual nuts and bolts. And a third group of people would be providing back to the customer and making sure that they understand, they get trained, they use. Otherwise, they have no idea how to use a Google Hangout within the company, within the organization. They have no idea. For just examples, they don't know how to use these tools. So make sure that we train them and do a clean handoff back to them. Here is what you gave us. Here is what we give back to you. Please take. And once you do that, you did the work. Then you go and claim it that we did it. So our resume builds up slowly, step by step, one step at a time. It may be small, it may be trivial, but that's how it begins. You agree? So how do you want to form these groups? Volunteers. For people who you want to talk to the customer and listen carefully. It's not about talking, it's about listening. So what are they trying to tell you? Is what I want to take picks from, and I will begin selecting from this short list. The short list we have is these people. They have done the homework. I would select volunteers from right here who have done the assignment to interact with the customer. And so who are these 6 people? Let's find out. As long as it opens, we should be able to get to that list. I don't even know who did the homework now. Okay, come on, click. Click. No? It doesn't want to open. But the first one is Aaron. I saw that. Aaron, you did it. So do you like to talk to them, figure out what it needs, what is needed? You need to figure out. What do you ask them? What do you need from them? Huh? On the spot. On the spot. Yes. You want to ask them what do they need. So you have to email them and figure it out. I will not be in the picture. I walk away now. I brought them in the picture. You take over, talk to that lady, get whatever you need. Like for example, credentials on, login, password, whatever you need. Figure it out what you need. Make sure you talk nicely, explain to them what you're doing, and then do it. And then hand off that information to the other set of volunteers who will actually implement it correctly and check that it is done properly. Yes, yes. Pass out, some of the other volunteers who will actually do the work, and a third set of volunteers who will give them some training as to how to use it now, because the emails will look different. It look Gmail-like, right? They may not be used to it. So how do you configure, connect, and make sure it works out for them? And that is the idea. So I'm going to, as soon as this opens up, it doesn't. You think it did? I just refreshed the screen. Oh, it did. At least it is doing now. So we have Aaron done, Arjun done, Daniel done, Joseph done, Niku done, Sachin done, Trevor done. So out of these people, how do you want to structure your group? What are your thoughts? These are the people who will talk to them. So you talk to Mo, the lady we met, and get credentials. Tell her that you need a Route 53 like solution. They might already have it, so don't make them spend 50 cents. Right? It's a lot of money. I'm not kidding. Why waste money? You already have it. I chose Route 53 just to give you a consistent experience so you can copy and compare. Otherwise, if you're on GoDaddy and somebody's on Namecheap, and you'll all get confused. Some will use the @ symbol, others will not use the @ symbol, and we'll all bang our heads against a hard object, something like that. I don't want that. So it's okay to spend 50 cents, and we did it. They don't need to. It's a perpetual thing for them, right? They want to maintain. So we want to figure these details out from them, give them a timeline as to when do you think to finish it, and then when do you start and finish the training, and do a clean handoff back to them. Here's our work. Thank you very much. And don't ask for a testimonial, because I already did. They'll give it to you. Don't ask for that. They'll give it to you. But because I already asked them, hey, please, and they will do it, no doubt. But please don't ask them for testimonial. That's not a good practice.
So does Google not provide domain name services?
They do.
And
sorry, I don't know they do or not. I have to find out. I don't think they do. The DNS services, they do not provide. They provide a different type of service called 8.8.8.8. They provide a DNS resolution service. It's called the public DNS. Down on the floor.
Put it on the floor.
Yeah, come on here. Put it down. Down. Yeah. Go. And so Google does provide this server, which is a DNS server for your home use. It is called 8.8.8.8. So just somewhere. Yeah, I don't know where to put it, so please.
Yeah, I'll take it.
But this is not what you call a DNS Route 53 like server, right?
Hey guys. Hey, how are you doing? Good. I have a visitor I wanted to introduce you to.
Speak louder.
So what we described with setting stuff up for you is how we were going to implement the Google Apps in order to bring some smoothness to your work environment between employees and possibly volunteers if you have them. Basically, we were going to set up email for all of you. You'd have an administrator that would be able to delete users or add users, manage content as far as like what they were allowed to do. They'd be able to use Google Hangouts in order to communicate to each other and people outside via conferencing or a one-on-one type face chat. The other stuff they'd be able to do is you could upload all your tax documents onto Google Drive, so you'd be able to have them in one place and they'd be accessible to whoever you let them be accessible to. You could also have a central place for documents for your customers, for your volunteers to send out to potential clients and stuff, so that they could actually access what they need right there, just via a link right to them. So, I'm missing anything.
No, you're not.
Okay.
I think what is needed is
calendars.
your calendar, email, contacts, address book, donors, your finances, your video conferences, and then you have some special tools from nonprofits like geolocation and geomapping through Google Earth, which you may not be aware of, but we'll tell you more about that. Bottom line is, he will contact you. You need to give him tools to enable him to do the work for you, and he'll give it back to you. He will use the whole class to enable this. There are 21 students in the class, and what we would need to begin with is your credentials for your domain, so we can tweak them, which means we will have some downtime for emails, which means your email will stop working for a few, maybe a few minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I hope you're okay with that. And we will try to salvage your email if not destroyed, not get trashed, but we'll preserve it, prevent from. All you will get is unable to access your email for a few minutes. I hope that's okay as you transition. You will also keep whatever else you have intact, and your current email systems. I think you're already using some kind of Gmail on personal accounts, like you have a. So you will be transitioning to something like latoya@moseheroes.org. as opposed to your current Gmail, which you have. And so that kind of transition will happen over time. And the point is, with having you here, we'll make it happen for you. He will be representing the class, interact with you and with Mo, and make things happen for you with the help from the class, and give you a timeline as to when do we think we can finish it. We hope 1 week or 2 weeks should be more than enough for this to happen, and transition the entire organization to Google Apps, which you already have the approval, so it should not take much longer. Any questions do you have?
No, not right now.
Okay. Do you feel okay with us doing the work?
I'm fine with it. I'm confident. I just have to know what's happening wrong, but I'm pretty sure Steve will board as well.
I think she's okay.
Yes.
Yes. So with that, I want to thank you.
Okay.
Yep, appreciate it. Thank you for coming over.
Okay. So I'll make sure you get the contact.
Yes. So he'll contact you,
Okay.
and make sure.
Here. Okay. I'm looking.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I'll
Bye.
let Mo know.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So we have a volunteer. Now we need volunteers for doing the work. So 1, 2, 3. We got 3, 4 taken. Next, people will train the employees there. We need people to be able to train them. They're volunteers. Volunteer 1, 2, 3, 4. Enough. Take the next project. What is the next project? You heard me say about that. Talk about that already. Do you? Yeah. The other organization is this one. This is the other organization. See what they want to do. You give me emails of who just volunteered. I need to know who actually volunteered for what. So shoot me an email, please. And this is the second project. We'll spend 5 minutes on this, understand what this is, and figure out how to do it. Read it. Yeah, go ahead, read it and figure out what they want to do. It begins with line number 4. I'll post it on Classroom also. Don't worry. Yeah, we cannot make apps. It will be too much. So I told them no apps, just a website.
Just the website?
Yeah, no app,
No Google Apps?
no Google Apps, just website.
Yeah, Trevor's got it now.
We're actually building a website scratch or
From scratch.
Okay.
They have something like this thing called whatever they have. So they have this. They have this website, which is hosted on WordPress.com. Do you know what WordPress.com is? Yeah, it is a software as a service solution from WordPress, creators of WordPress. SaaS. Creator of WordPress is a person called Matt. ma.tt. That's his name, Matt. He created WordPress, and WordPress software is the single most used open source software ever. You heard me say ever. And this is the software. It is downloadable from here. It is called WordPress, the package 4.0. It's a zip file. It's PHP based software. To run PHP is a programming language. You need some underlying things to make the software work. Do you know what those things are? Yeah, it needs certain things to make it work. And those things are, let's see what we need to make WordPress run. We read the documentation and figure out what do we need. So getting started, it basically needs what is known as a LAMP stack. Hold on. That is what is needed. Four things called LAMP. That is what is needed. CSS is a cascading style sheet, which is on the client side in the browser. This is like the back end, away from you. The CSS and HTML and JavaScript, these three things. These three things sit in the browser. The other four things, like line number 3, 4, 5, 6, sit on the away machine in the cloud. In the 8, 9, 10, 11 sit in your browser. They are running right here in the browser window. And the four things, LAMP, is away from you, somewhere in Amazon, somewhere in DigitalOcean. So you see this website here. It is also a WordPress website. And it runs on DigitalOcean under a LAMP stack. So on DigitalOcean, I get a droplet, pay them $5, sometimes $20. It doesn't matter. And per month, and there I add four things, LAMP. LAMP, which is Linux, is the operating system. You add PHP, you add MySQL as a database, and you add Apache as a web server, so it will serve pages. And then you install WordPress software on top, and you're done. Then it doesn't look good though. You have to make it look good by adding a theme. A theme can be purchased or created. If you're a designer, an artist, you need an art person. I'm not an artist, so I go and buy a theme from an artist. So I buy a theme from this company that I like, and that's the theme I bought from here for $50, and it makes me look good, makes the site looks good, really good looking site. There are lots of demos. You can buy it for $50. Ask them to buy it for $50, and they'll gladly buy it. They told us that they'll spend money and buy the theme, whatever is needed. They'll buy a hosting solution, so you don't have to worry about DigitalOcean either. In fact, I would suggest that you don't even have to worry about LAMP either, because there are service providers that will give you ready to host WordPress solutions. They exist. They charge you $30, like this. They have ready to use WordPress ready LAMP platforms that you can just add your theme and go. But people don't need these. People don't know these things, so we need to tell them. So here you pay them $30. For non-profit, they might have an even lower rate, but we'll let them deal with the billing part. What we do is we get access to this, put a theme on top, and give it to them. You're done. People don't know these things, right? It's a small project. It takes 10 minutes, actually, literally, if you ask me to do it. But I'll not be doing it. I want you to do it. It literally takes me 10 minutes to finish it off. But I would not do that. And people charge $5,000 for this, if you did not know. Yeah, yes, yes, yes. Create a website, $5,000. Yeah, it's common. 4 to 5,000 easy, easy. If you live in the US, 5. If you live in India, 3. Yeah. That's how Indians compete. And so if you compete on price, it's always a downward race to the bottom. And so what's the problem with the race to bottom? You might actually win. So let's not talk about race to the bottom. Let's talk about helping the customer. So you got this idea. I'll post this on our classroom, and I want volunteers. It literally does not take much time. Maybe it will take 30 minutes for you, maybe more than that, but we'll figure it out. Need volunteers? Raise your hand. You need to talk to them. Please don't repeat the volunteer business. So you've already volunteered for something else, do something else. So we have two more, and we just let them. So great, email me for this name project in the subject line. I get tons and tons of emails if you did not know. So please, when you write me emails, write the subject line clearly. My email volume, you will not believe, is in more than few hundred every day. It is crazy. But you will see
No
my.
wonder you can't go see movies. You don't have any.
Yes.
Yes, time to walk his dog.
I do. Yes.
While he checks his
So, how do you know these things?
Is that why your leggings are right?
You taught me how to stalk.
Yes.
Well, you shouldn't give away your trade secret.
I know.
They will come back on you.
I know.
Now you know. Like, we're watching you from the cloud, walking your dog.
I know.
You see this?
Oh man.
We're in the traffic cam.
Oh, I know. Oh my God. Okay, so enough of the project. And this person, who that person is, her name is what? Ebony Johnson, 14-year veteran of the Air Force. So the volunteers that you have will talk to that lady, figure out what she needs, do it for her, and help her out. Claim it on your resume by doing the work. Don't claim with nothing. You do something, claim it. That's the idea. You understand that point of view, and we'll get more. If you need more, we'll get more. Just keep doing small projects, build it up to bigger projects over time. So you can have something to say when you meet somebody in an interview. I already did it. That's the only way to prove. Otherwise, you have nothing to walk in. What experience do you have? I don't know. In technology, I may not have experience, and that was the case I ran into. Myself. Yes, I remember that. I don't want you to run into that. So work right now. Don't wait for the graduation to happen. Work right now. Got it? Cool. So did you watch these two videos I gave you a link on? It's called virtualization. Did you? You did not?
I watched the one, I thought it was just an accidental repeat of the same thing, so I watched the concept.
It says watch these two. Do not watch videos right now, please. Please watch these two videos. There are two different videos. They basically slightly different content. It describes. Sorry.
Being assignments then.
Aha. You thought I was like kidding? So when I write, I want you to read and do it, even if it is not an assignment. The reading material I just put. If you want me to like specifically call out as an assignment and give a deadline, I can do that. I did not think that is needed, but now I know better. So I'll convert this into an assignment going forward. Everything I write, yes.
And you posted it earlier, but what was the third thing that you said that you needed to run the browser besides the
Yeah, I will not only talk but show it to you. So that's how the what you see in a browser is built out of these things. The HTML is like a skeleton. CSS makes it look good, and JavaScript makes it function good, makes it operate correctly, like all the button clicking, all the relayouts and structures. Do you code JavaScript?
No, we started for the Windows app development.
Huh.
We were doing that in that class, and JavaScript totally screwed me.
It is the ugliest language you can think of.
Yeah, it's like non.
Yes, it is absolutely ugly, and it is. Huh.
And they introduced JavaScript, and it got screwed up.
I know.
So bad.
I know it is. It is. In fact, there is a book called JavaScript. The good parts. The good parts, because everything else is bad.
Yeah, it's really.
And it.
Jeremy Foster from Microsoft.
No.
He was the RP.
What is that?
Now he's a programmer. He's an evangelist.
I see. He teaches.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. So the book called JavaScript, The Good Parts, is a very small book. Yes, it's actually a very small book, and rest of JavaScript is total. Use any word you like, and read this book. And it's a very small book. It's very useful, and it might be useful if you're interested in that space of working. If you're interested in developing, read that book. Why take a picture? Put this in classroom.
Yeah, classroom it disappears over.
So take notes, take your notes. Pictures you cannot search. You should copy from what classroom has and take your notes in another notebook. Do you know where do you store notes? No, this is bad idea to store it here. This is a CPU, not a memory. Right?
This is all RAM.
It is no, it's CPU. You should use external storage, outsource your memory and store it somewhere. Like, yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And here is how I store my notes. Like a paper. Yeah, it's very good. It works on all your devices and synchronizes with the cloud, and that's where you store notes. And it is free. And it is searchable. Your handwritten notebook is not. Your photographs are not. Unless you take it in Evernote, then it becomes searchable.
Oh, you have it? Is that what it is?
But afterwards, keep it inside. Not right now.
Everybody's gonna be looking at that picture.
I know. I'll maybe take it back and keep it here later on in the break time.
Oh yeah.
Six scratch. Yeah, you might want to get a case for that.
6+.
So the questions I have is regarding virtualization. You have used the virtual machine already. Can one of you describe in 2 sentences what is virtualization?
Machine on a machine.
Yes. Second sentence. Like something more.
It
Yes. Bingo. Bingo. Yeah. 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 Yes. Yes. Size.
Whatever you need. You can restart it.
Big machine you can't touch.
Can touch. Huh?
A sandbox.
It's a sandbox.
So
Yes.
if you make mistakes, just
You can yeah. Yes. Yes. You can take a step back. What else? I want to hear very carefully what you said because I do not want you to say wrong words outside the room. Son. It is that's how partition is the right word of a physical machine. Yes. I'm listening for wrong words. That's what I'm trying to pinpoint. Sorry, one at a time. Virtualization in general. What does it mean? How do you use it? Things like that.
Tangible, something that you interact with. It's not actually.
Yes. 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 I think you got it. I think you got it. Yes. Something to say.
In terms of on the computer, it's a sandbox or a buffer, but in terms of like virtualization, such as cloud stuff like that, it's just an intangible service delivered remotely.
Yes. 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 It is actually very much tangible, but not physically touchable. Yeah. Yeah. So like we run virtualization in our VirtualBox, right? We saw virtualization running in our VirtualBox, which used
Probably turn that around. That R is not very clear. Or you continue just smash your knee on it.
yes. So this VirtualBox software lets you run a virtual machine on your laptops. As an individual person, you can do this. There are some other types of virtualization, like this one, for example, is another type of virtual machine infrastructure that some large companies use. There is another one called Zen virtualization. And there is another virtualization called VMware. And there is other called from Microsoft, Hyper-V. And all these are tools that are large-scale enterprise-grade virtualization solutions. Various companies use a variety of these tools and techniques. Microsoft will, of course, use this one, and EMC will use this one. And Amazon uses Zen, not exactly this one, but the open source version, which is, I think, this. Amazon uses this virtualization, Zen. And Red Hat uses this virtualization. So there are various tools available. Conceptually, they are all similar. Concept is the same. You have a big box, you make small boxes out of it. That's the concept. You got that part clear. And what do you do with these boxes? You run machines like we did the other day. We ran a machine in Amazon EC2. And how many of you still have that machine up and running? You know what that means? Yes.
You have a $20 bill now.
No, not really.
Like an extra bill, like.
Yeah, it was a free one for you. Assuming you started a tiny instance, it was free for you. But if it was me, I would have racked up some few cents of bills, maybe 2 cents per hour for how many hours? Yeah, calculate that, multiply by 2 cents. That would be my bill if I did not stop it in time because I am not using it. So when you're not using something, you should delete that. That's our idea of using cloud computing. If you're not using it, then don't pay for it. So don't forget to stop if you start something. Otherwise, you are going to pay for it, not me. So remember that. Having done that, I think you also have probably created an account with DigitalOcean. Have you? It takes 2 minutes if you haven't. And in case of DigitalOcean, the $25 coupon that I had apparently is expired, which means it will not work. But there's a different coupon, it seems, that they give, or I don't know how, but it shows up. Yeah, $10. Use that. 10 is still big enough.
you have to enter a credit card number. It won't let you.
Yes, exactly. It will not. They need to know who you are a real person. They will validate that through a credit card, and then the idea would be, as an exercise right now, I would suggest start a machine in DigitalOcean, connect to it, and before 6 o'clock. Yes, only 5 minutes. Yes, including sign up. You can do it. It's very fast, quick. Go to Classroom, click on a link. There's a coupon. So go to Classroom. If you don't have an account, there's a link somewhere. Click on the link. It'll give you $10. So go sign up. And those people who are signing up right now will take more than 5 minutes. I understand. But for others, you already have an account. You should be able to set up and show me a terminal connecting to that cloud.
I'm a billing department.
Yep.
I sent the
Yeah.
email and it keeps on saying it will, and it doesn't send it to my email.
What happens if you say create? Forget the confirmation. Oh, okay.
Yeah, every time I try.
Ah,
And I've resent it and resent it, and I've tried 2 different emails, so I'm thinking I'm just going to cancel this account and try it again.
no, don't.
No,
Check your Gmail. Check your Gmail. Check your vermouth.net account. Where is that? Open it up. Not this, the other one. Are you sure it's the right account? Okay, good. Now go to the more labels.
I've
More
even
labels.
done my
Spam.
nothing.
Check the spelling of the email address that you typed in the account.
Remove?
Vermouth. Edit your email. Right there.
I
Edit.
tried to
Yeah,
change my email.
Put a different email.
I did that, and it wouldn't change it over.
Okay, then you do what you were thinking. Anita, can you say something? I think I heard you. So good, but I don't think we have Giovanni in the class yet. So I just sent him another invitation. He should be able to join us later, whenever he does. We are recording it, so he should be able to hear us. And I'm assuming, Anita, you can hear me so that it is being actually recorded as opposed to muted. I'm assuming that you are able to hear me. That's good. If not, please call me. So the two examples, digital. Because I have standing instructions for her.
Oh, okay, I was just saying, you said it.
It's like same thing, right? Raise your hand if you're not here. Same thing. So these two examples of that's right. Anita, can you say something? I think I heard you. So good, but I don't think we have Giovanni in the class yet. So I just sent him another invitation. He should be able to join us later, whenever he does. We are recording it, so he should be able to hear us. Yeah, I think this happens because what is there is a 30-second delay being actually recorded as opposed to. Yeah, I need to tweak it. So we saw two examples. Can you give me more examples of infrastructure as a service? Yes. Yes, there is a specific service called Google Compute Engine. Not Google for developers. It's a broad umbrella. There's a very specific service, and here it is.
What, internet security?
No, it has to be like machine that somebody can give us on rent. So it will be called Google Compute Engine, and that's the product, which is called infrastructure as a service. We can go to the console and find out how we can get a machine there, create a project. So, sorry, go to the project, and here we create a machine like this. We click a button to launch an instance like this here, and it takes time to build up an account with Google, so don't do right now, but here you can give a machine called Arjun, and it must be lowercase, and then you allow HTTP traffic, allow HTTPS traffic, select a zone in some region, Europe, Asia, wherever you like. You saw me doing this, did you? Yeah. And you select the machine size, lots of different sizes, and then you select image. You can select lots of different choices in operating systems. So we select Red Hat, and then you select an external public IP address like this, and you create the machine. And it says you will be billed for this instance, which is how it works. You start a machine, then you start paying for it. You use it. When you're done using it, you delete it. So you don't have to pay it for anymore. So this is another example. Give me a few more examples of infrastructure providers. Infrastructure as a service.
Azure.
Windows Azure, yes. More.
AWS.
Yes. Yes. Yes, some more. I think that's enough. So there are too many providers in the cloud that gives the whole business they have is, I have a set of machines, I want to partition it, give you pieces on demand. And there are, when you pay for a machine, there are three types of prices of these machines. Do you know the three types, or do you want me to tell you? I think you may not know because I never discussed. So now a slightly different non-technical economics lesson for 2 minutes. You heard me say 2 cents for 1 hour. That's one type of price. It's called the list price. Whatever the listing is, that's the price of a machine, 2 cents per hour. That's type 1 of pricing. The second type of pricing is eBay style. You bid low. So they say 2 cents per hour for list. I'll say I want to bid 0.9 cents. or even less. And why does that work? Because it's cheaper for us. Why does it work for Amazon?
You get more customers,
Yes,
demand more.
yes. It is conceptually similar to I have a plane which is almost full, but I have 3 seats left. What would I do before I fly?
Try to sell those seats.
Exactly. What will the price I be putting for the seat? How much lower? Like, what does it depend on?
Well, I mean, if
No,
there's
it's only one airline right now.
if,
So
if there's somebody at the desk at the airport needing a ticket, that ticket's $700. If
Yes.
there's somebody 2 weeks out that's like, well, yeah.
yeah. So let me describe the scenario. The scenario is there's only one plane, only one airport, lots of people here. They may or may not want to go. We don't know that. We have a plane almost full, 3 seats vacant. How will you price it?
You'll price it by asking for bids.
Yes.
But where do you start?
Yeah. Why would you do that? Because you want to cover the operating cost of a seat and extra cost, whatever you want to pay for the whole bag of peanuts that you have to give away, like the big bag, and some water, some cleaning, and incremental gas that the plane will have to bear because of extra weight. So that's the cost, say $30 roughly for a full bag of peanuts, plus.
Priceline, maybe your own price.
Yes, conceptually similar. And so you might have seen that if you want to just travel right now, you might get a very cheap ticket occasionally. And the reason that happens is because if you do not fill those seats, and if the cost of operating a seat is $30, you will charge $31 and still make a buck. Why not collect it? That's the idea behind airline pricing in this specific situation. So that's what Amazon thinks. If nobody's actually using my machines and I have lots and lots of them, why not let people bid? If not 2 cents, somebody might give me 0.9 cents. I'll still make that money because it costs me nothing to operate, virtually nothing. I'm already operating. The machines are already running. I have to pay, exactly. It's a fixed cost. So I would rather auction it off. It's called Amazon Marketplace. You can actually, there is a spot price market for Amazon machines. You can bid for spot prices. As you create a machine on Amazon, you will see it, spot pricing, and then you can bid. I want to pay not 2 cents, it's too expensive. I would pay 0.7 cents or something like that. You can even go to multiple decimals and go, bid low and use it. That's the second type of pricing. It is called spot pricing. The idea is like eBay. And a third type of pricing, do you know what that would be? Huh? Conceptually very similar. Yes. It's called commitment pricing. I promise to pay you for next 3 years 2 cents on every hour, or maybe 1 cent. Yeah, I just committed, right? So I promise to pay you 1 cent for the next 3 years. I just reserve the instance. Reserve for me. It is a lower price. You sign a contract, long term, and you commit, and you reserve. It is called reserve pricing. It is typically lower than 2 cents because you are now committing to pay for a long-term period, 2 years, 3 years. And it may be cheaper to do it like this. If you know for sure that you want to run something in Amazon Cloud, you want to reserve a bunch of machines. It may be cheaper. It actually is. 3 types of pricing. You got those ideas clear? Good. Other vendors may not support that style. Some of them do. Some of them want to, but only for large companies. It varies. It depends. Amazon is probably the biggest provider, so they allow these things for consumers. What it boils down to is, if, say, I want to, for example, do some Bitcoin mining. You know what Bitcoin is? Heard of it? It is very much a real currency, except it's a virtual currency. It's virtual currency. You cannot hold it in your hand, but it is very much real. You can buy a Tesla for 97 Bitcoins. It's very expensive. And so that is virtual currency. How do you create Bitcoins? By doing mathematics. You can read more about it later on Wikipedia and other places, but you can use machines in the Amazon cloud to generate Bitcoins. So it's effectively, if you find some machines for cheap, you bid for them at a low price, and you get those machines and run your Bitcoin software and create Bitcoin, and you get it. Provided you get the machines for free, you can make money. Is it regulated? I don't think so. No, it's not. It is. It doesn't. You don't have to be careful. It's like trading. It's like trading in rice or paddy or wheat or potatoes. It's like Bitcoin. It's a commodity, right? You have to take the risk. Yeah, it's a risk. It's a risk. So you can trade. It's totally legal. Not in India, but here it is. I don't know why it's not legal. I don't know, but here it is legal, and I do it in my home.
Mine?
Yes, in my garage. Slowly. It's a slow mining. There's a box. So the idea here being, if you use the cloud, what happens is other people will also figure out that it is economically viable, and they will bid higher than you. And then more people will come and bid even more higher than you, and effectively dilute and throw away all the profits. And so the price of the spot market varies. Just I gave you this example. It goes up and down depending on how the consumption is, how many people are buying and how many people are providing. It balances out. It's an economics game. It's a marketplace, supply and demand. Very good. And if the supply demand forces match, what will happen is you will not make any money. You will just take money from dollars and put that in Bitcoin, and you're done. You'll not make any profit. Right? Effectively, that's where the stability occurs in economics. When supply and demand forces will collide and you reach an equilibrium point, you will spend exactly that amount that you would otherwise spend in actually buying a Bitcoin outright as opposed to making it. So that's the market force action on pricing of machines that you just saw 3 examples. Other companies do not have that variety, but concept is there. So you can actually negotiate. If you work for a large company, you can negotiate pricing with a provider of your choice. People do that. CIA did that with Amazon, and they have a complete region dedicated to them. And IBM lost that battle. Another provider is listed here, right? IBM. They lost. There is news you can read on this topic. And these providers give you machines. In a machine, there are 3 broad things that you really care about. Can you tell me in a computer, what are the 3 big things that you actually make use of?
CPU, memory,
3 things. 3 things. There are more, but 3 most important things. They are compute, the computational horsepower. There is storage to store stuff. And there is network to connect to other computers. These are 3 broad things that are relevant and important. Let us now look at 2 other examples that are somewhat also important. I'll log into that site and show it to you as to how it is visually represented to get you a perspective on what do we really mean when we talk about infrastructure. What are we really getting? What are we talking about? And that pictorially is very nicely represented in RP6 Cloud, and that's what I'm logging on to show you. And so here, same thing here, create a server, and I'm going to give it a name, Arjun. I'll select my region, Sydney, Dallas, Hong Kong, whatever I like, Sydney. Oh, okay, yeah. And here I select my favorite operating system, which is Ubuntu. And select this, 1404, trusty. Right? And then I proceed. I select the size, the flavor, performance 1, performance 2, and standard. See how the blue thing here changes? Let's look at the blue box carefully. There are 5 elements to it. Can you see them, all 5? So I talked about 3 things. What are the 2 extra things that we just saw here in the picture?
Network and disk.
I mentioned network. I said storage. I said network. I said compute. Disk and disk IO and RAM. So the 2 elements of storage. Disk is a storage. RAM is a transient storage. Right? It's high performance, fast, temporary, transient, but still storage. You store stuff, remove stuff. It is storage, and it is also needed. You need to be careful that a hard disk can be really big, but can be really slow. Have you seen such an example of a very big hard disk and very slow? You might probably have it already in your home desktop. Big hard disk, but runs very slow. Yes, yes. And the other idea of a fast hard disk, something like your laptop here. So the fat hard disk is typically slow, and a fast hard disk is typically small. So it's fat and fast, almost kind of away from each other, which is laws of physics, right? Exactly. It is actually laws of physics. You cannot rotate a spinning disk fast enough to read it and operate on it fast. It is actually laws of physics come into play. To make a disk fast, you have to do something different, like a different technology. For example, solid state disk doesn't even have any moving element, doesn't rotate. So SSD based computers like the DigitalOcean computers are actually faster from the disk perspective. Now these disks come in multiple flavors, as I said, fast versus fat, and that's where the other angle of disk I/O comes into play. I/O as in input, output. How fast are you writing number of I/O operations every second, right? So high, yes, question. Break, yes, we can do that. Go ahead. Yep, at 6:45. Thank you. Okay, so we were talking about disk performance. So the metric here, which is disk I/O, whether it is a slow disk or a fast disk, you can get both these types and anywhere in between also from the provider by selecting this metric and pulling this blue line this way, or pull it that way will give you more RAM, pull it this way will give you more CPU, this way will get more disk space, and that way will get you higher speed network. And a higher speed network means a big fat pipe like Comcast as opposed to a thin pipe like a dial-up network. That will be the difference. Yes, evil pipe. It's Comcastic, infinitely Comcastic pipe. So see how the thing is growing as you grow it? See the disk grow as I scroll up. So you change the metrics, and the metric for disk I/O is good. They don't give too much information here. They don't have specific metrics, but it says good disk versus bad disk. So the metric here is good as opposed to a number. They should put IOPS, I/O operation per second. They haven't. But some other providers do. The reason I show this is it shows you visually. So you get the perspective on all aspects of a compute resource. Compute, no R there, right? Remember the word is compute, like this line number 6. Do you see the mouse? No. What's going on? I know. I cannot move that mouse. Maybe I can. This one. So compute, the word is compute. So the underlying idea behind infrastructure as a service is to get compute resources. Faster disk, bigger disk, faster pipe, network, smaller pipe, network. Pipe can not only be fat or small, but also how speedy or low latency is the network connectivity is. That also matters. Do you understand the word latency or speed of network also, as opposed to just the bandwidth, or do you need an example?
Well, how does that work? Because you have to be on a network, like we're all on the Rally Point 6 network.
Mm-hmm.
So that limits our internet speed.
Correct, correct. But that's not what you're really worried about. What you're really worried about, and when you talk about this network, you're not worried about between you and the cloud. You are worried about your customer and the cloud. You don't matter. You're operating on it. What matters is the customer. So it's between the customer who is going to use your cloud, because they will visit some website and click some buttons and type some numbers and do some processing. They are the real users, not you. It's okay to make you slow. I'm not too much okay, but somewhat okay to make you slow. Because customers are more important than you. That's why I offered her a seat. Right? Whereas this guy did not. See, he's a service provider. That lady was a customer. So I treat them differently. Yeah, they'll do it for you, man, no matter what. They have a service, they're providing you service. You are the customer, so you have a seat. It's a very clear difference. Distinguish very clearly who is the customer, and it will make you successful. I'm not kidding. It is serious business. Identify who the customer is and make sure their bandwidth, their network latency is good, and you will be happy because they'll pay you. You can live with a slow network, right?
Right. No, I can't, actually.
So you spend money, then you become customer, right?
I'm a customer.
Cool.
Comcast.
Sorry for you. Yeah. Yeah. So the idea here is we are using resources, compute resources, RAM, CPU, network, disk, memory, how fast the network is, how big the disk is, how fast the disk is, where the disk is located, where the machine is located, how they geographically closer to your customer. Like if I have customers, all of them in India, which region I will select for Amazon? Singapore. Right? Because they don't have an in Bombay, otherwise I would select Bombay, but it's not there. So I'll select the closer proximity. For installing all my setups and machines, you go to Singapore, probably end up paying a little bit more because it is slightly more expensive to have a machine in Singapore than have in Oregon. So subtle cost of living. Very expensive. You cannot afford a car in there. You have to be a millionaire to get a car, and you get to drive on certain days of the week. There is no room. Yeah, yeah. So it's a different economy, and so many things matter. The pricing is a complex game. So that's what infrastructure, service, parking. Not in India. You can park anywhere in the middle of the road. It's okay.
Parts of Europe, Boston, parking space costs you $150,000.
You should maybe go to LA and you can park on the highway.
Yeah.
Everybody is.
Your car.
Yeah. Everybody is.
Do I explain about disk I/O and disk, the difference between them again?
Size and speed.
Okay, which one is this? Disk is the size, right?
Disk is the size. Disk I/O is the speed.
So disk I/O doesn't even save anything, or they are like separate. Like
Save what?
I mean disk. When you say disk I/O and disk, what are?
Disk. When these guys say disk, they mean capacity.
Okay.
GB,
Yeah.
TB, bytes.
Yes. Okay.
And when they say I/O,
Just for the.
it means for I/O operations per second. IOPS. The number, the metric is this. Gigabytes is for size.
Yeah, I got that. But that's what I was trying to see the difference.
And the other is IOPS, input, output, operations per second.
Whenever you type, there's a lag in there in the screen.
I see. Yeah. Is it too bad lag or it's okay lag?
I thought that you already typed. No, it works. That's the.
I know there is a lag, but I hope it's not too bad. If it is too bad, tell me. I'll fix it. It's not about the machine actually. It's the network. Yeah, it's the network connection between. Yes. It's not the iPhone either. You know, it's not. We are not going out of the network, out of this building. The network is right here between this machine, and the connectivity point is right here. This box, which is my router. See how they're connected. So the red wire goes to outside, and the white wire connects to my Chrome box. The way to fix it, how does it connect to this computer? Through Wi-Fi, through the Cloud Genius Wi-Fi that you see but cannot access. That one. That's how it connects. This one. These two guys. Now I can improve upon the speed by connecting a wire between this computer and that computer, and you will see them sluggishness go down. Right? You want to see that? No. So that's the network. So do you now understand what IaaS is? Somewhat. Any questions? No questions. Where would you use IaaS? To get machines. And to do what with it?
That's a good point. I don't know.
I don't know.
They have a business.
Yeah. So here's how you use. Here's how you use it. We have that example customer from this morning, right? So this start of the day, we had this customer. What was the name of the customer? Some website? No, the other one. Next chapter. So these guys need some website, like some service, interactive, and that needs some software, running somewhere. Now that software needs to run on some kind of a platform, which will be like LAMP, like I mentioned earlier. Now this LAMP, the L part is the Linux part, which runs on a machine, which could be an instance or a droplet or whatever they call it.
So an instance and a droplet are just different words for the same thing.
Yeah. And these machines or instances or droplets or whatever they call it run on what? A hypervisor. And the hypervisor runs on what? A big box. A box means a very big computer. Server is a very specific word. It has to serve. It has to give you something. So it's mostly software. A box is a box is a box. You can run Windows on it. It's not a server. It's a box. You can run Mac OS on it. You can run Linux desktop on it. It is still not a server. You can run Linux server on it. That is a server. But a hardware is not a server. It's a server class hardware, or it's a desktop class hardware. But it is still hardware. It's a box. So these are the things how you build it up. In some building somewhere in Oregon, there will be multiple buildings actually in Oregon where Amazon will have offices, and in those buildings, what you will find is what you call availability zones. So let's go look at that. Who's clicking it? This is Siri. Siri trying to talk, right? Yeah.
My 5-year-old got so mad at Siri the other day. She was trying to ask how much he'll eat, and they kept like directing her to restaurants. I don't want to eat.
So let's start an instance again in Amazon Cloud, and now watch carefully what it says, what it asks us. So I'll select a machine operating system type, and in here I'll select the general purpose free tier configuration details, and you will find it asks us about a specific thing that I want to look up. I want to look at availability zones. Did you run into that before? Yeah, here. So you see US West 2C and US West 2B. See that? And so in Oregon region, there are multiple buildings essentially. Think of it as separate buildings, separate locations, isolated buildings, and in those they have a C building and a B building. You can have more than only B and C, but many such buildings. However, an account like me or you may have only 2 showing up. It depends, and when I see B, 2B or 2C, it may be very different from what you see as 2B and 2C. It will be randomly allocated. They'll have multiple buildings carved out in their campus. They're physically separated with its own independent network, and inside those buildings we'll have floors. And in those floors we'll have almost like, what would I call it, tractor trailer, semi-trailer size containers. They're structured like containers, built in, ready to use racks inside them. So you basically bring a ready-made cloud. That's a container that you build in and stick it inside the building, and you power it up, you cool it down, and you connect the network cable, and that's how it starts. Inside those buildings we have these floors, and we have compartments, and rooms, big rooms, large rooms, in which you have these containers sitting. Think of it that way. It may look different as you go there, but these containers will carry racks and racks of hardware, big boxes. This is line number 9, big box, a very big physical real computer hardware. In that physical box, you will have some virtualization software called hypervisor running, like KVM or XEN, Zen, or Hyper-V or VMware, or one of those. And these hypervisor software give us virtual machines or droplets or instances or whatever we want. That's what customers take. And on those things that we get, droplets, we'll install an operating system on top. Like in my example case was Linux, Ubuntu. And then on top of that Linux, we'll add, for example, in this case, AMP, which was Apache, MySQL, and PHP, these guys, AMP. That gives us the platform. This becomes a platform for the software to run. So when we talk about platform as a service, we are talking about, in this example, line number 5, AMP. That's the platform. And on top of that, you put some software, like WordPress.org, the download that you get from there. You put exactly the download it from there, put it on this machine, on the LAMP stack, on the LAMP platform, and then you have WordPress running. And once you have it running, you access it. You log in. You change the theme, change the look and feel, put your pictures right up, right nicely, do a whole lot of things, but that a user will do. And then you have a WordPress-based interactive website. That's what your customers will use. And your customers need to be able to access this infrastructure with a high bandwidth, low latency connection. And that bandwidth is important, right? So you get the picture of where we are coming from, what are we doing, what do we do with the instances, what do we do with the droplets. That's how you build it up, right? Questions?
For all this process, is there any like architectural diagram that we can see and how the
Draw it yourself. I'll do it with you. Yeah, draw it. Yep. Draw it yourself, give it to me, I'll correct it, I'll draw it for you. Let's examine. There are multiple different types of diagrams we can construct. This is the simplest diagram you can think of. It's a vertical line, one on top of the other. You can make it very complex, but keep it simple to begin with. Yes.
So in reference to the next chapter scenario.
Line number, please. Oh, no, the line number 1. Okay. Okay. The next chapter confuses me. Okay. Yeah,
In reference to that, as in this scenario, you get them. You want to build them interactive web services. You need them. You need to get them software running. So you pick a platform from one of the other ones. So you chose you find an instance or droplet or server somewhere else to be able to run it. And then you hypervise it.
it's a piece of software.
Yeah.
Hypervisor is a piece of software that runs on the real box.
So,
Directly runs on the real box. Yes.
so it's like the so it's the VM.
It's like VirtualBox on your real computer.
Yeah. Okay. So you run that so it can host their website. Basically.
Yeah. The website gets hosted on top of line number 5.
for the
Which is line number 5 is software. All of it is software.
It's the software running on the virtual, which is in the drop.
Running on number 7.
In the
Yeah.
space. So
Number
you put
7.
this in the classroom. Could you put this on the
I will do that. I
And
will do
then
that. Remind me if I forget.
It's being hosted by this thing that you just set up somewhere else in the cloud. That's pretty much all.
Yes, you can pick any cloud you like,
Okay.
and that's where it will run. So this physical computer hardware that Amazon will make sure they maintain it. Line number 9, Amazon or Rackspace or DigitalOcean, HP Cloud, Google Compute Engine, Microsoft Windows Azure. Yeah, somebody will maintain that box for you. You don't have to cool it down. You don't have to pay the bills of electricity or rent of the building or anything like that.
So you would just give the specifications that the client wants, and say you could give me a password and this and the username and the website
So
name.
password level is at multiple levels. You get a password for line number 7. You also get a password for line number 4. There are 2 different passwords. One is for WordPress, one is for the box, the virtual box, the instance. Right? There's a root password you received in email for your DigitalOcean droplet.
In real life, I mean, unless you're a giant enterprise and actually doing it for Microsoft level or Amazon level, where you're actually creating a huge organization, is small businesses can go through like one-on-one web hosting services, where you just log in, do what you need to do, publish your website, and they handle all the Linux,
Yes.
everything else.
So that's what I would suggest that we do for the customer is go something like here. WPEngine.com, $30 per month, and then put your theme and plugins, and you're done. That's what I would suggest for these guys. So it compares to anything above line number 5 is what we need to worry about. If you just pay 20, $30 a month, they'll take care of it.
And
I mean, that handles even 44 of them.
Yes, yes, yes. Except that you still have to add theme.
yeah, the theme and plugin.
Yeah.
You buy that outright. This is like flat fee versus like per month.
Yes. The theme and plugin are one time.
Okay.
So pay $50, you're done. Something like that. Most themes are free. Plugins are also free, most of them. Some of them are expensive. The good looking ones are people charge. The artists will charge money for that. So in a comparative example, in this case, all these, line number 3 will get you by adding themes and plugins, but anything below line number 4 and down are taken care of by some service provider or Namecheap will do it, or GoDaddy will do it. All these guys will do it. They all are bad and really, really slow, but they're cheap. You can get like $3 per month. Yeah, you can get even $1 per month. Somebody founded web.com, you remember? The first day? Yeah, that's what they do. So $1 per month, 99 cents. And web.com. That's what you found the other day. And it is totally okay, it will work, but your customer will hate you.
So what about the higher end ones? Like say they do want the high quality.
Then you pay something like 30 bucks and go WP Engine for a real customer. Ask them to pay for it. You don't pay for them.
Exactly.
Yeah, ask them to subscribe directly. This is my recommendation. You want to go 99 cents, you go ahead, but don't blame me. I recommend a good service, and you go review service providers, and just like you go to a Amazon.com marketplace and look at a product and find out how that product is. Let's say this Panasonic battery grip. So how do you look at a product and tell it is good or not? What do you look at? You read the reviews. What else do you look at? You look at what I call a shape of a gun. It has to be looking like a gun. You know, the tall number 5s and little bit of 4s and 3s. It needs to look like a gun. If it's a gun, it's a good review. If it is not a gun, it's bad product. Don't even bother reading. So quickly look like this, and it's okay. Proceed. Read. If it is not a gun, if it is like this, run.
Kill shot.
Yeah, that's a kill shot.
Kill shot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did.
You gotta watch more movies.
Yeah, one day, after maybe 4 such classes, I'll start watching. I'll watch movies. I promise.
Oh, retirement, huh?
Yeah.
After 4 classes?
Yeah. The condition being all of you get jobs.
Oh, okay.
That is a necessary condition for me to get more classes, for me to retire.
Did we like sign a clause saying you get a little?
No, I signed a clause.
Position?
I signed a
Is that
contract.
what it is? Once I get up here.
It's a morality clause.
Yeah. Yeah. So the idea is you make your customer make that decision, but guide them appropriately. Don't send them to web.com. They'll hate you. You got that point, right? You don't have to do all this work, but I need you to know that you can do it. All these steps, you can do it yourself. This Cloud Genius website, this is how I do it. Just like this, all the way from DigitalOcean up. And in the class, you will do it in the second month. It takes 10 minutes to build the whole thing.
Nice.
Yes. Yes. You see, to get to that point, you need to now finish that assignment. It's not an assignment. I made that mistake of not marking it as an assignment. I remember that. I will never do that mistake again. So there is a set of videos I posted which shows how to operate on the terminal. Like there's a YouTube video series. Did you see that?
I saw some.
It
Is that
is.
the one where it goes through the commands?
Yeah. Yeah, I want you to
I
practice
started
it.
watching those.
Practice that. Practice that. It is useful. Don't have to memorize anything, because internet is our cheat sheet. Right? Just search it, you'll find it. Don't have to remember. I do not remember anything whatsoever because I have outsourced my memory. I think. Yeah, I think, but I don't store. I don't want to. I cannot. It's a bad use of my, whatever I have.
Yeah, you only got 10%. Better use it wisely, right?
See, so don't memorize anything, but at least know it. That will help you operate a terminal nicely. Get to that point on your own, because it is hard for me to teach it to you. It's a pretty boring exercise. Let me be honest. It's boring. Do the same repetitive operation, ls, dir, whatever that is. It's boring, but at least do it once so you get to know what it is.
But those videos don't really explain why you would do something.
Okay, good
Like
point.
there was the PWD he was bringing up, and he was like pulling this and this and this, and I was like, that's real great, but I have no idea why
I know.
you do that.
Yep. So let's describe the why part, and that's why I'm here for, to answer you those questions. The reason we use this terminal black colored window that looks ugly is because it is accessible from any computer, and it's very easy to operate on it once you know what you're doing. It is what I call an ultimate Swiss Army knife. You can do whatever you like. It gives you everything, anything and everything you can do on that terminal window. Although it doesn't look powerful, but it is extremely powerful. You can destroy a computer on the terminal, to completely destroy and get rid of it, right on the terminal. So it is powerful. So it is important for us to know how to operate that Swiss Army knife. Now, the idea behind just about any cloud service providers that you saw, some of you connected directly through the browser by clicking a console button, and you were able to type root and log in. That's one approach. The other approach is to actually start the terminal like this, and then operate it through here and say pwd. Why did I do that? Because I want to find out which directory I am in right now. Present working directory, or whatever that name is. How do you know what pwd stands for? I have no idea. So what I will do, man pwd. It says return working directory name. Anything man, whatever. Man is manual, right? Yeah, it tells you what it is. So we'll use a software called Git. It's called GIT, like this. And so you know what Git is? Say man Git. It's the official. Hold on. It's the official name of that software. Is the stupid content tracker.
This on any terminal, like
You need to install it. No Microsoft. You need to install it, and it'll work. Yeah, you install it like a one-line command. Here, how you do it? Sudo apt-get install git core. That's what installs it on your DigitalOcean droplet or anywhere, Amazon cloud. It'll install it one line. It'll be done. So you can run Git and you can store stuff in Git. That's what we'll use because it is the stupid content tracker. The guy who created Git in 5 days, his name is Linus Torvalds. If you know him, do you? He's like Bill Gates, except for Linux. If you did not know him now. This guy. He's a Finnish engineer, lives in Oregon. He created Linux 23 years ago. That guy. So he created Linux that 90% of computers in the cloud use today. This is the guy. He's probably not as rich as Bill Gates, but almost equally powerful in the technology community. He is able to do whatever he wants. Essentially, he is like God in some sense. So the other God, Bill Gates is one. He is the other.
what disease did his foundation eradicate?
I don't know. I think he solved a problem of making making software free.
Yeah, you eradicate.
Yeah.
In technology world, you didn't let me finish.
It's still around. Microsoft's in the technology world.
It's still around.
So this name,
No, capitalism, that's freedom.
the name Git is a bad word, by the way. If you did not know, do you know Git is a curse word in UK? So now you know. And now you know it's actually a bad word, and he deliberately chose that name.
So is gun. Gun's bad.
Right. So the point behind this command is we will use this command. I'm specifically calling out this command is to make use of it in our terminal because this is how you track content. It is the stupid content tracker, right? You track content. So you make some changes in something you create, your developers would create, or you create. Whatever you do, you keep inside Git control, and then take a snapshot, and then proceed to the next change, and take a snapshot, and proceed to the next change, and take a snapshot, and you make a mistake, and you roll back, and then do it again. Whenever you take a snapshot, you can roll back, and Git will tell you and help you manage content changes. Anything you write, you control it in Git, and you can roll back if you want. And so what I would like to do is show you an example of how I would want you to use Git. You can use it. It may sound really complex, but trust me, it is not. And here is what I will do. I'll write a text file. In that text file, I'll write A, B, C, D. And I'm supposed to write all the way through Z, but I make a mistake. And I say maybe up to H, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. All the way A through H. I wrote all the 8 characters, right? And I made a mistake, right? You know where I really made a mistake. Yeah. So this is the file I want to store. This is the content I create, and I want to put it in Git. And then I'll come back and correct my mistake. And you can see what's going on and how do I track changes, how do I revert my mistakes, and it's all done in the terminal. You will see it right now.
Is GitHub is like a separate software?
GitHub is,
second box.
so let's get that point. So GitHub is a software as a service. Git software as a service. That's what GitHub is. Like we talked about WordPress software.
Yeah.
So WordPress software as a service is what? WordPress.com. And Git software as a service is what? GitHub.com. Where is the WordPress software? Where is the Git software? See the difference in the two? One is a software you download. It's a package. It's a zip file. It's some other package of some type. That's the software. And some company is providing you that software as a service, and that is called SaaS. WordPress is a software available for you to create, manage, share, collaborate content. Content means pictures, music, video, images, write-up, whatever. It's like blogging. You know what a blog is? That's what WordPress software does. It's a software to help manage content. It is better than it's like Instagram will let you store pictures and write little sentences, small sentences. This is a little bit more complex. Like this, I'll show you what this thing is. You saw this already. This is WordPress. It looks like this to the outside world. To me, it looks like this. And in here, I have these buttons to operate on. The first button I look at is called a post. So I can create a post. Like you will post an Instagram post, you'll take a picture and post it. I can also do the same thing, except here I can write nicely about what I'm going to talk about and post it. And here is how I do is like this. For example, I posted this. See what I posted. I'm going to edit it right now. I posted Cloud Genius mission at Rally Point 6, train 21 soldiers from JVLM to land a career in the cloud. That's my news posting. So I write about it. And I say first of its kind program to do blah, 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 whatever. I wrote it all. And then I come here and say update or post. When I post, it goes live and public on the planet Earth with an internet access can see it like this. Just like a blog, just like Instagram, except this has a write-up also and a video also there. So there is a video and there is a picture of you and a write-up and some links, and people are liking it and linking it and all that good stuff. Right? People are linking in for. Okay, shut up.
So
shut up.
For the average person wanting to manage just a website, how user-friendly is WordPress?
Very. Extremely user-friendly, and I think about more than about 80% websites that have content use WordPress. And that
more
is
user-friendly than Squarespace. I just know a lot of.
I don't even know what Squarespace is.
That's new.
But it is not open source software. Yeah, it's a building a website. Okay, it's a service from somebody. It's not open source, so I don't care.
WordPress is open source.
Yes. I don't care about these things, honestly, and you should not either. There's some business trying to make money. No, they don't. It is open source. So remember, I'm talking about line number 15. I'm not talking about 13. 13 is not free. 15 is. 13 is not free. It may appear to be free, but it is not. 15 is free and open source. 15 is free and 19 is free. But 17 is not. 17 may be free. Yeah, not for everybody. I have to pay. If you want to create a private Git, you have to pay for it. If you're public open source Git, it is free. So do you get the idea behind what a software as a service is and how it applies? You understand it? Yeah, so give me more examples. So let me write this segment in a different fashion. What I will do is I'll say SaaS and software. So two distinct things I will say. Maybe I'll go to a different screen. Workforce is not open source. Yeah, Git, Visual Studio now supports Git. Yeah, and so they're talking about other types of stupid content trackers, like Perforce or Subversion or other commercial products that we don't care about. And yeah, Perforce is, yeah, I think you use it. I know, yeah, it's bad. And your team is going to use Git, is what Shaul told me. Yeah. So you will switch over to Git. Microsoft is switching over to Git. Visual Studio supports Git. Git is good. Do you get it?
Yeah.
That was a bad joke.
Got it. Get it? Got it. Good.
So give me more examples like this in which we are talking about a software and the corresponding service. Anything you can think of. So we are talking about some software as a service. More examples.
Did we talk about Netflix software?
Netflix just a search service. There is no corresponding software. They don't give it to you. It is still a software as a service. It is. But there is no corresponding software that you can buy or get. There's no, they don't give it to you. They only give you a service. So yes, Netflix is a service. It's not a software as a service. It's a movie watching as a service.
AutoCAD in the cloud.
AutoCAD in the cloud is a software in the service. You know, yes. Let's go to that site. What's it called? What's the company called? AutoCAD. Yeah, Autodesk is the name of the software, and Autodesk is the name of the company, and this software is available in the cloud apparently these days. So this is a design software for machine design, where a designer of some object will use this software to create, and that's one example. More examples of Fiverr. Viber. Oh, the phone company. Viber. So this company provides you phone calls for free, P2P, person-to-person phone calls on any device. So you can select basically any of these devices: Nokia, Bada, BlackBerry, Windows Phone, Android phone, iOS, Windows 8, and on desktop. Any platform, connect person-to-person, do a voice and video call. I think they have video also these days. Yeah. So that's a service. Really good.
Yeah, but I use the both, like paid service and unpaid.
Okay. So that's like Skype, if you will. Think of like Skype, person to person, and people who have family abroad, you typically use this. Yeah. So other services like this, the people have provided software as a service. Give me examples. There are tons and tons of you use it every day. So just name it. TurboTax. .com is a software as a service. Not TurboTax, the package software you get in Costco. The TurboTax.com, like Office as a service is called Office 365, right? So not turbo.com, turbotax.com, and that site is a service where you can, without installing any software locally, you can still file your taxes through this service called tax filing as a service, and a corresponding box product is available in Costco and Staples. That software is called TurboTax. Right? More examples. Software as a service examples. Google Apps. Yes. Which specific app? Google Docs. Document as a service. Google Spreadsheets. Number crunching as a service. Google Drive. Storage as a service. Right? Calendar as a service. All these are services available on the internet for you to consume. Sometimes pay. Huh?
Like VLC media player.
VLC is a software. It is not a service. So here, no. How?
You download it and you watch a movie on there.
No, that's open source software. This is open source. So VLC is a software that you download like this, and it will start in 4 seconds. But it's a piece of software. That website delivers it to you. That's it. There's no service here. No. No. This VLC is a good player, open source. Don't get it from the wrong location. You will get bad software along with it. So don't go to the right place to get it. It's a good software. It will play any video on the planet Earth in any format. It is very good because it is open source. What makes things good because it is open source? What drives goodness? And what else? The real cause of goodness in open source. What really drives? Free is good. Free as in money, free. Yes. What else? Other people watch what you're doing and police you. Community policing is a very strong force. You cannot do bad things. If you do it, somebody will whack you.
So probably your next class is going to be like open source or what?
It is already open source. My entire curriculum is focused on open source, right? It is not. Is it not? Am I asking you to pay any? Am I asking you to pay for any software? No. Am I paying for any software? No. So, yeah, those are services that you consume, right? So from some machine somewhere. I think it's fair to pay them 2 cents, whatever we do. That's all. But no, we are not using software, and we are not using any commercial software unless it is $0. Are we using it? No. We don't have to. It's not software, it's a service. And even in AWS, most of the software they use is open source. If you did not realize, all these boxes, if you go to the direct connect is some network connectivity, EC2 are machines on the cloud. You can also run Windows here, but dominantly most operating systems get used are open source. Route 53 is a DNS service, which is implementation called Bind. Bind is the DNS software they run on Route 53. That's the name of the software here, Bind. Then we have CloudFront, which is a delivery service, and I think I will go over each one of these and make you use them pretty soon. But I want to complete the topic of SaaS first. Few more examples, and we'll change the topic and get back to what we're thinking about to make you operate on these machines more effectively, so you can actually complete the work that I described, which is like this. Where was that? Here, no? Something like this. Yeah, this lady's work. We can build it out. I think I missed it somewhere or what? Yeah, here. Yeah. So we can construct this set using terminal, and we'll get to that point. So few more examples of SaaS, and we are done. So like WordPress, Drupal is another open source software made by a person who lives in Boston. His name is Dries. I'll spell it. No, I think the spelling is correct. Yeah, this guy. And he created, which is another open source software. And do you happen to know the name of a famous website that uses this? Really famous. Don't go to whitehouse.com. I know they changed it, but so this guy is using Drupal software, and the company behind the people. So the company behind this, these people have a company called AQUI, something like that. AQUI. Nah, I don't know how to spell it. Yeah. So this is the company that is Dries' company, and he provides a service called Drupal Gardens, which uses Drupal in the backend. And in 15 minutes, you can create a site. And if you are using services from them, you will have to pay them. But that's a service. The platform here, the people use the word platform in variety of fashion. Like everybody will have their own, they just make stuff up when they're talking about platform. Everybody has their own definition of platform. So I'll go back to our definition of what we were saying in this case, the line number 5, platform. In here, in our context, when we say platform as a service, we actually mean the underlying components needed to make a software run. That's what I mean platform. Everybody has their own definitions of the word platform. Like Windows is a platform for Microsoft. Even Office 365 is a platform. Office is a platform. eBay is a platform. You know, how do you rationalize these things? People make stuff up, literally. And so this is my made-up definition. I'm kidding. This is what the definition of platform as a service is. And that's what we will be using. But understand and realize that people can use the word platform for just about anything they want. Like, I am putting this mouse on the platform. Who knows? You can use whatever you want to, but this is the contextual definition of underlying software components you need as a platform to run your software as a service. That's our definition. Now on this guy's website, the service, you can create a site and it will be free, and there are some limitations. It will not let you do certain things unless you pay up. So most of these services typically are on a freemium model. You know what a freemium would mean? Yes. So it's a combination of free and premium, right? So an example of a freemium service that you use already. Yes. What else?
Aww.
Yeah. So yes, LinkedIn. Yeah. Facebook. Where do you pay Facebook? Yes. Where else do you pay Facebook?
Advertisements.
Yes. Yes.
Messenger.
Yeah. Yep. Where do you pay Google?
If you want to put AdWords, or if you want to just use their app store.
Yeah, for business. For non-profit, it is free, right? Yeah, when you get searched.
No, like, someone like put like Cowboy.
I did not hear properly.
Like someone in business for Google, they have the business and they put Cowboy boots and they're like number 1 search.
I did not understand.
They get
Cobweb
financial
boots.
backers. They get
What is cobweb boots?
Cowboy boots.
Oh, cowboy boots. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They get paid by other companies to make their search the first one. So then when you actually
Doesn't work like that. No. And so you have to very clearly disambiguate between what a result is. Let's look at that very clearly. So, you know, some of you have already made the you make your name show up high in the ranking. Who has completed those steps that I suggested? Give me your name, Arjun, right? Bajracharya. So see, it already popped down or dropped down. You saw that? It came up automatically, and nobody else along with you to compete with you. Search. See what shows up. Is your picture there?
My picture is there.
I know. I saw that. That is you.
With the wig.
No.
Looking good, buddy. Looking
No,
good.
this is him.
Look at the shirt. You see that?
Let's see what else you have. Arjun, is that you?
Yeah.
Is that you?
No. The bill?
No, this one, is that you?
No, the horse.
No, just look at links, not pictures. Is this your link?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this your link?
Yes.
Is this your link? Probably not. Are you at Troy University?
Yeah.
Is that your testimonial?
Yeah.
Is the testimonial good?
Yeah.
Good. How about this?
Which one? Not the YouTube.
No, the budget, the Zoom info.
Yeah, that's what they when I was in Afghanistan.
Okay. What about this?
YouTube, I don't know.
Claim it. If you haven't claimed, knock it down. So how do you knock this? How do you knock this entry down? By putting 3 good videos with your name.
Okay.
You push this down.
Okay.
In the next 7 days, when you modify and upload your videos, so first of all, don't upload random videos on YouTube. Create something good, meaningful, that is that you can show to a potential employer, and post those videos. A safe one is a cat video, for fun. It's no problem. Yeah, cat.
Oh, like you playing with a little laser pointer with your cat?
No, not that. No.
What do you mean cat video?
So create your own video. Hold on. No, we're not opening links. You create your videos and post it. Don't use somebody else's video. That's bad. If you did not know, do not post anybody else's videos. You create your own video and you post it. And then you will push this entry down. That's what I want you to accomplish. On the first page, it will be all about just you. And you can clean it up by looking at what's showing up and knock those guys down.
Okay.
And push them on the second or third page. We don't care about them. Yes. Yeah, the easiest way to knock these images away, I'll tell you how to knock them down. So listen to this very carefully. You have to name the file with your full name. .jpg. It should be arjuns.bajracharya.jpg. And then upload it with appendix number 1, number 2, number 3, 10 pictures. Upload them on Google Picasa and make them public. Your own pictures. Professionally shoot them. Take pictures. Name these files Arjun Bajracharya number 1, Arjun Bajracharya number 2.jpg. Upload it on Picasa. Make them public. Picasa.
It's a website. Google's is Picasso like Google's?
Yeah, Google's application.
Oh, it is.
So with something like a
This.
The picture that whichever picture comes out, if somebody your friend tag you on the Facebook, it comes down to that.
Yes. Yes. So tagging is one way to get it high up in the image list.
I used to avoid this thing. I didn't want.
No, you should consciously put your pictures on top to knock random horse pictures down, right? That's how you can do it. There is no other way to. You want to suppress them, you want to hide them, because the horse doesn't represent you, so you knock it down. The horse cannot upload its own pictures. You can. Yes.
Wouldn't that just only lead people to the link on Picasso rather than
But
Facebook page?
it's about the picture I'm talking. It's about the picture. So you should create a Google Plus profile, write about your name correctly without spelling mistake, put your proper picture there, associate tons of good pictures of you in Picasa, make them all public, and link that back to your LinkedIn profile. So bring people to your LinkedIn profile all the way. The whole purpose behind this exercise is to let people know that you are indeed you and you are not the horse. Right? That's the whole idea behind Google searches. That's what we are doing. And you did it already, by the way. It succeeded, apparently. Oh, I should ask you, do you think it succeeded?
No.
Not yet? No. So you finish it off.
Some people have a little easier time
I know.
than others.
Totally
I
understand.
have a professional hockey player named Chase Decker, so it's like you type in
It's
his
hard.
name and it's like this dude gets in a fight. How am I supposed to compete with that? Like,
Yeah,
do
so-
I get naked and run out in the middle
No.
of the sporting
No.
event? Or like, I mean,
No, don't. The way there are tricks of doing that is include your middle initial. So I told the other time, in like number 3, You were number 3, right? Daniel Vermouth, number 3. Associate that complete string. See these machines on the back end that search your websites and other properties in Google are computers. They don't understand it. If you exactly make your name Daniel Vermouth number 3, and if you are there is 3 other number 3s there, you put a middle initial in there and make that exact string in every social network, every other website possible, and flood it and be unique and consistently unique everywhere, and put the same picture everywhere. So it will automatically populate. The first page will be full all about you as long as the string matches. The string has to uniquely match Daniel Vermouth number 3 with a middle initial of whatever.
But an employer's probably not going to just
I know.
go onto Google and put.
Totally okay, but use that same exact name on your LinkedIn profile, on your resume, so it makes it easy for them to copy and paste and search. Right? If you say my name is Daniel and don't give it in writing, they will probably land on that hockey player or Chase Decker, right? But if you give them a number 3 or a middle initial, they'll tend to search by copying and pasting as opposed to typing, which gives you the right thing. That's what you want to accomplish. Yes, there are difficulties, like in your case of Chase Decker, or in his case of Sachin Tendulkar. The same problem. You cannot solve it. It is not solvable. All I'm saying is there are some tricks most of you can do, not everybody. It might work. It's not a guarantee because I don't represent Google, but I'm giving you tricks of how to knock bad things down. Like Samantha had there's some lady says, abandon a child, but she's not abandoning a child. Somebody else did. You want to knock that story down. Not Samantha, Stephanie. Stephanie Estrada, if you search, there is some lady abandoning a child. You don't want that news there. You want to suppress it by creating your own news. Push it down. Create content and push it. Post it on the internet about you. Good things about you. You write yourself. Right? This is the first step. You have to clean it up. If you don't do it, you don't control it. Yeah, grab it. And if there is a story about some mother abandoning the child, you knock that story down on the second page. So it doesn't become visible because it is not you. So you got that point. Complete that work. It helps. It helps. So on this exercise, what I'm going to do now is put that in a folder. So before I do that exercise, I want to quickly check a couple of things. Do you understand file structure, like directories and files inside and directories inside other directories? Do you get that perspective already? A tree. So where is the root? At the top. In a tree, where the root is? At the bottom. It's a flip tree, upside down tree. In computer, trees are upside down. The root is on top and you have branches all the way down. And the leaves are files. You got that idea. You know this already. I'm just repeating it for you. You have used computers for many, many years. You understand what a file is. File is a leaf in a tree, an upside down tree. And where is the root? It's the C drive for Windows people and a slash for Unix people. You seen it, or is that strange to you? Is it strange? If it is strange, I'll draw a picture for you. If it is not strange, I'll tell you what PWD is and why it's relevant. PWD basically tells you where you are on the tree.
It's your little GPS.
Right? So you got that, Chase? Where are you on the tree? You cannot tell on the terminal window. So you need to find out, where am I? PWD, and it tells you where you are. That's the importance of PWD. So whenever you work, you need to know where you're sitting.
Does it actually tell you from the root where you're at, or does it just tell you what file you're in? Just there.
Okay. So here, clear. Let's see, PWD. What does it say?
It says you're within the user folder and under no.
Yes. Yes. Now where am I? Yes. So the PWD.
So it actually gives you full tree.
Right. And now I go back. And now where am I? Right, now I go to test again. Right? So the idea behind this command is to change directory. Dot dot means go back. Now where am I? Right? If I say test, I'm going there. Right? Yes.
Change directory. So if I just type in change directory, take it back
To the home. Right?
So it'll show you all the way back to the.
Are you displaying everything in the
So you got that? MD, make directory. So I created blah. They're all computers, right? Yeah. So we saw traversal of directories, right? You know what I mean by traversal? We are walking on the tree on different branches.
Runs programs through here.
You can do whatever you want. List out a file, run a program.
What if you wanted to open up a picture?
Which picture? You need to have a picture first, right? So let's see where I have pictures.
How do you add a picture?
I'll tell you how. So let's see if I have pictures, and apparently I do. So I'm going to open the picture like this. Okay.
Pretty much, just you're not gonna have the user interface. You just throw it in your file. Pretty much like if you have a Windows Explorer like that. Yeah, mine's computer pretty much. This is pretty much doing the same thing. Like I'm accessing this folder, for example. I would put like CD/shuffle fitness.
Yeah.
So like,
It's like going through the start button. Like my documents, you type in, CD my document. Then you end up in my document folder. He's in the picture folder. Then I open up, like double click and work on it. There it is.
Got it? This open will not work in the cloud because there is nothing to show you a picture. You're just a black window terminal connected. It's a link connected to a remote computer. So if you say open picture, you will not see anything because the picture is there and you are here, and so the rendering happens to be impossible. You cannot open pictures like this. You have to bring the file locally and then open it, and then it'll open.
Can't you like remotely? Why can't you connect to it actually without just using a console and actually see the?
Visually, you want to see the whole interface?
Yeah.
Yes, you can, and I'll show you how. However, there is a cost to it. The cost is not in money, but in performance.
Oh, okay. I don't understand why so many people
It's not money cost. It's performance of this computer. You don't want to waste your computer horsepower to run these graphical things because it becomes expensive. And so you can get away with the smallest computer you can and pay only 2 cents as opposed to 3. And it is 33% discount between 3 cents and 2 cents. Right? If you're doing hundreds and thousands of machines, it's a big amount of money. So you would rather get a 2-cent machine than a 3-cent machine because it's 33% discounted, and you would rather not run those graphical user elements because it is expensive from a performance perspective. You can get away with a cheaper machine if you don't run the GUI or graphical user interface. You can, yes, I'm already, by the way, connecting from this computer to this computer through a graphical user interface just like that. You see that? I'm running a Macintosh, and I'm going to say do not disturb on, and whenever it clicks, it doesn't, but whatever. So I can see the close the picture and open the picture again, and it will open it up. So I can operate on this computer here remotely. See, it's not even connected. I can maybe very explicitly keep it here and keep it in the Arjun cloud and and still operate on it like this. Right? See that I can still operate on it, and that's the GUI part of control. But I need it here. You don't need it in the cloud. You don't want to waste power. You don't want to waste money. You would rather use a 2-cent machine than a 3-cent. It will save your company money. So that's the reason why we typically don't operate on a GUI, because it's cheaper. You can. I just did. This is a way of connecting. It's not the SSH based connection. It's a VNC based connection. The connection type is different. VNC is another open source product from AT&T of 50 years ago. And this is the product. Maybe this is not the exact product. I think this is the company behind it. But there are lots of implementations of VNC. But the core idea is virtual network computing, and you connect to a remote computer graphically. You can connect to a remote Windows computer, remote Unix computer, remote Macintosh computer, remote Linux computer, and all that good stuff. But most of these cloud computers do not even run the graphical interface at all, because it is cheaper. And even in Windows, in certain Windows, if you would, let's look at those. You may not realize this, but in Windows also you can do the same thing. It is called Windows Core OS. Windows Core. Server Core. That's the name. So this Server Core is the server operating system that will give you a black colored window and nothing else. And it is running Windows. It is cheaper to run it this way in the cloud, because you can get your work done. You can run Exchange server to get your corporate email running on something like this. And those services will run for you. They will operate. You can connect it through Outlook Web Access, or you can connect it through Outlook client or iPhone or anything you want. But you will not see anything because it's a black window, just like you saw the terminal, the green window.
Use this to run like old software, like say something that was made like in the 90s that you had to run like the command prompts like through DOS, but now we're
No. It is the way to run old software made in 90s is to create a virtual machine and run it inside that virtual machine with Windows 2000 or Windows XP. And here is how it would be done.
Be the cool kid, have a virtual machine of Windows Me.
Yeah. So here is how you would do it. And so I would start an XP computer right now. And it will run a Windows XP machine that you will see eventually. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So it is running Windows XP, and I'll have old software that I used to use. I can still run on a Mac, because what I just did is ran old ancient software from 90s inside a virtual machine running Windows XP. It's much more efficient to run it this way, because you already are using the old OS, old operating system also. Server Core is a very new operating system, relatively new. It will not run it. The old software, it will not be able to run.
put in your disk and upload. Or
You can put in your XP disk and insert it in a CD drive and install it.
no, not that. I'm talking about your software, whatever you're trying. See an old version of CAD or something.
CAD? Yeah. Yes, you can. You can run it on XP, right? So you will use this way. Cloud computers are typically used in a setting where you don't see it visually, but through a service of some sort, like through an iPhone, you connect to it. Like Instagram is a service that you connect through your Instagram app. Do you see the Instagram machines itself? You don't. What do you see is an app where you take pictures and post. What is running on the back end is a Linux box in the cloud that doesn't even have a GUI, a graphical user interface. It doesn't show you anything. Even if you connect to it, it's only terminal access. Even Instagram employees will have only terminal access mostly. And that's how the machine is set up to run, to show you to connect with your iPhone app or your Instagram.com website, but you access these services from other endpoints. And the idea behind using cloud is to have something in your hand, like you have a laptop or a phone or other types of machines that you have. So people will carry these devices and they will connect to services in the cloud. And so to use these services in the cloud, you need something in your hand, like an iPhone or a laptop or an iPad or one of those, some type of something. And then through that, you hook up, connect through some method. Either it is SSH, which is the most rudimentary and most complex and the basic way of connecting to a remote computer, or you use other methods like log into an Instagram app to connect to the Instagram service. But that service is away from you. It is not here. What you see here in your phone is just a local rendition of the Instagram service, which is what they call the Instagram app. It may not be SSH. It can be, but it's typically not. There are other application programming interfaces that are used by Instagram application to connect to the Instagram service, which may very well be running on the Amazon cloud. Who knows? IP address. IP address. Dig. Yes. Questions? Or we get back to the terminal. Terminal. Let me shut this XP machine.
Are you using Bootstrap or some other software for that?
Some other. It's called VMware Fusion. Not free. But I have it, so I use it. It is useful to run virtual machines on Macintosh computers. And a similar program is available for Windows also. It's called VMware Workstation. It is also not free. But there is a free version of that called VMware Player, which is free. Free as in money, free. Not free as in freedom, free. The freedom free is VirtualBox. That's what we use in the class. So you saw this usage of terminal is essentially operating on a remote computer. Sometimes you can use it locally like I'm doing right now, but you can operate on a remote computer and you typically don't see pictures, don't play videos because it's a server that serves you whatever you need. It may not be able to show you right there because there is nothing visible. It's almost a tiny, the minimum possible you can get away with. The smallest size of software you can add is what you install on a computer in the cloud, where less is more. In fact, there is a word associated with that concept. It's called just enough OS. It's called juice. Yes, juice. And this juice comes from the fact that, how do you say in a slang fashion? I'm trying to attempt slang here, so correct me. Is that good way of without crap, yeah, software without crap, crapless. And so you get the bare minimum operating system with not much added to it, just enough you need to get your Instagram services away from you running correctly, but only add the thing that you need and nothing else. Cut the crap. That's what a just enough OS is, and that's how you should build servers away from you. To even your laptops, don't add crap. Like don't add. Somebody ran into this problem of installing Notepad++ and got boatload of crap because you did not read. I'm sorry. I should have warned you. I did not. But now I know. So the idea behind just enough OS is how you construct machine images, AMI, or whatever machine images you saw in other providers like Droplets in the DigitalOcean or Google Compute Engine or HP Cloud or you name it cloud. You need to provide the just bare minimum enough you need and cut the GUI, cut the graphical user interface. You don't need it. So go minimal, go small. What's the benefit of going like this? You pay less. You consume less, so you pay less. You can still get away with the work you want to get done. You can run your Instagram business and service your customers with Instagram apps so they can post images and receive images and share and tag and all sorts of things. You can do all that. So in Instagram example, most of us have Instagram apps. We take pictures, and when we take picture, it is actually taken locally. But when you post, the picture actually goes away from your phone to a cloud computer in the Instagram server and gets associated with your user account. And that's where you will then add some little write-up. My cat, my dog, whatever that is. You post about it. You put is there a heart symbol in Instagram? I don't remember. But who has a heart symbol? You double click on a photo and it does something, if I remember right. Like, yeah, something like that. So those are tags associated. How many times did you click, and can you heart or not heart, or did you like or not like, or all those things. Those are attributes associated about you with that picture. You can like other people's pictures, and all this data is stored in some database, like MySQL, for example. You remember the platform we talked about? The platform LAMP is specifically for WordPress and Drupal and a whole bunch of other software. All of them use LAMP stack, except not Instagram. They use their own platform. They will require something else. Expedia does not necessarily use LAMP stack. They'll use their own custom software to run their services, which is selling tickets on the internet, tickets for hotels and rental cars and airlines. And so that's the product they sell, but you do not necessarily, I don't know what they use, but they don't use LAMP stack for sure, because they customized it. They are probably doing something. They will tell you if they want to, don't have to. And the stack, that the platform they use is different, not LAMP. That's the key point. Same is true with Facebook. Facebook started as a LAMP application, PHP based LAMP platform application, long ago when I got an account, 2004, when I was a student. No, before that, slightly before that, when I got an account through my college. Since then I've been using Facebook and LinkedIn. And I think Facebook was a PHP based LAMP application. So their platform was a LAMP stack. And they slowly have grown to a completely different platform and a completely different application now. It is not PHP. They still use PHP for some things. It has really become big. So I don't know what they currently do. But they started off as a PHP based application that uses the LAMP platform. Instagram is different. Every service these days is different. They customize it. Some other examples would be Ruby on Rails. So it will be a different language and a different platform to run on that. That becomes another example. Ruby on Grails is also a platform. Java in jail. That's a joke. But these are nerdy jokes. These are two valid platforms. There's a Java platform called Spring Source. And so these are examples of platforms that people will use to run applications that they will write. So in the case of line number 9, you will write a program, a software that will use Ruby language. In line number 10 and 11, you will write in Java or Groovy. It's a language. In LAMP stack applications, you will write the program in PHP. And so the languages you would use will be something like this, or the language you will use will be Ruby. And all these platforms also are open source. For example, you go to Ruby on Rails, and this platform is open source. And you can download it like this. Or you can install it with one line, like this. Like this. And it will install Ruby on Rails just like that. It's probably already installed on my laptop, but I'm just giving an example. So this is an open source platform created by this guy. No, not this guy. DHH. Yeah, this guy. And he created a company called 37 Signals, and yeah, he's a famous person. Just like all the guys I mentioned, WordPress creator, Drupal creator, Ruby on Rails creator, all these people are famous, really well known. So you should know it. So we just installed Rails in like less than a minute. It just completed. Yeah, there is no GUI, so you cannot. Huh?
Question.
Yes.
So when we're talking about the LAMP platform, we were using Apache as a.
Yes, it was a web server. Correct.
So what we used to when we use Java, we use just the interface of PHP, everything else is Apache and.
Not necessary.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So from these, so let's use the acronym again. So L is typically an operating system. A is.
Linux. That's why they put Linux.
Yeah, you can go WAMP also. You can go WAMP.
I was saying like, okay.
It can be Windows,
Okay.
right? You can go WAMP by running it on the Windows platform. It will become WAMP.
Okay, yeah.
But since WAMP is not free, people don't use it. People tend to use LAMP because LAMP is free, right? Windows part is not free, so people avoid it because who wants to waste money? So back to the acronym, I will finish it. The second acronym is a web server. It can be Apache. It can be Nginx.
Okay, that's what my question was. Okay.
So in that case, it becomes. The other thing is MySQL, which is typically a database. It was in our example MySQL, but it doesn't have to be. It can be this, which becomes this, right? And the language is a language. Yeah. Yeah. Does that give you an idea about what people mean? Yeah, I don't want you to just talk randomly LAMP and without understanding. Anything you say, if you do not understand, stop me. And if you don't stop me, I'll really feel bad. Because what I don't want, here is what I don't want. You go outside and you talk to somebody and tell them something, and you then tell them that I learned it from Nilesh. Ouch, that'll hurt me. Really, really bad. Right? That's the reason I worry about, really, honestly. It is the trust that I put on you to do the right thing. If you do not understand, please ask. The last thing I want is you saying something and telling them, saying it incorrectly and telling them Nilesh told me. That'll hurt me, like kill me. Not kidding, kill me. So I don't want that piece. Please do that as a favor. Please, if you don't understand, ask me right now. We have a lot of time. But get it right. Yes. Sorry. I did not understand. Okay. So any questions on this aspect? Or I want you to actually finish watching those video sequences on terminal and practice it in your VirtualBox virtual machine. Now I would like to request to write up, please, what did we discuss today, and send them an email, our sponsors. Mr. Humans. We have 7 minutes to write. Yeah, go ahead. Questions first, of course. Yes. A language can be a method of interacting with a computer.
So is that kind of like have a flash player?
Flash player is a software. Action script is the language. No, it's okay. Action script is the language. There are too many acronyms here, so you should understand framework and understand and make it clear what is what. So Perl is a method of writing something to help computer understand what you mean. That's a language. Anything that you describe, what I want to get done, and tell the computer to do it, is a language. That language needs to get executed, needs to get run on a platform. And platform becomes these things together. C and C plus are languages. C is a language. C plus plus is a language. C sharp is a language. F sharp was a language. I don't know if still people use it. Fortran is a language.
I heard about
JavaScript. Those weren't necessarily for.
HTML is a language. Yes. ActionScript is a language. JavaScript, yes.
Scala.
Scala is a language, Java-like.
I just heard about it today only.
Scala is a language, Java is a language, JavaScript is a different language.
Swift.
Yes, Swift is a new language. Go is a language from Google.
Oh, really?
Yep.
What does Facebook use?
PHP. HTML5 is a.
They
They still use it, but in the actual implementation is different. It's an implementation. It's a. Apple uses Swift.
Oh, then it is.
And
Oh, okay.
and Objective C. Apple uses like 3 months ago, Swift came along, but up until now they were using Objective C, and now Swift. And CSS is cascading style sheets, and there are versions of this. Like there is 1, 2, and all that. Similarly, HTML has 4 and 5 other versions. Right? So there are tons and tons of languages. Long ago, I created a language, a compiler for a language called OCaml in 1990. It's ancient history, but nobody uses it. You can create your own language, by the way. No, do not. You have to have a compiler to compile the language to actually convert that into a machine understandable language. Yes, I think I'll clarify that. I'll simplify. I think it did not come across clear. I think this language part I need to clarify in clear words. I did not explain it properly, I think. Right?
Pretty much like.
Well, I mean, maybe to these guys.
No, it doesn't matter. It's okay. I know. Good. You told me. I will figure it out how to solve it. I'll do it. What I will do is actually ask you to write a program, and then you will get it. Okay. Here is how I do it. Let's do a quick math. Really simple. And I'll ask you to write a Ruby program. Okay. See what just did. I said 2 plus 2 and said enter. What did it come back with? Right? That's a way of me telling my computer to please calculate 2 and 2. That's a language.
The thing is, like, the computer only understands one to zero. So you gotta, like, for us, the language is like pretty much on human terms, and then that thing will be going to the compiler for a translator for much more like 0 to 1. This number is either from 0 to 1. So that the computer can understand it. But all in all, the computer is only just a light switch, on and off, on and off.
Yeah, it's all binary. It's just basically your language converting it to binary so the computer understands it. So then when it translates it back to binary, translates it back to whatever language you set for it.
You know, here is, I'm giving you an exercise. Please party along. It's a very simple exercise. You should do that. If you've never done it, do that. And here it is coming along in classroom. And the idea is to try Ruby. And go click on it, do it. Takes 20 minutes. I think we don't have 20 minutes left, but give it a shot. 15 minutes actually. 15 minutes, so we have only 3. So I have given you a link. It is very, very simple to understand. Please try it. It will give you a perspective on what exactly is going on in a language. The language here is Ruby. Play with it. It takes 15 minutes. You will understand it. If you, we'll talk more next time when we meet.
I have one last question regarding cloud thing.
Yes.
When we're talking about this platform lab and we are developing this web page for this my something company, right? So the platform we are buying, or we are like.
We'll buy it and give it to them. Make it easy on us, make it easy on them. All we want is a testimonial, right? So take the least path of least resistance. Unless we want to learn.
So we're gonna tell them about the maintenance tool, like because they
Yeah,
don't have to
yes, you tell them everything. We will not maintain for you. After the class is done, bye-bye. I don't want to get in the business of maintaining for you. You deal with it. I told them already.
Okay.
So we are not maintaining it for them.
We're creating it.
We create it, get the testimonial. That's what we want. That's the reason we are doing it, right?
Yeah.
Don't ask for it though. They'll give it to you. You don't need that. You already have a job. So how many of you actually have a job already that you want to keep? That you want to keep?
Kind of.
Kind of.
Trying to move up.
Oh, move up is good. Great, but you want to keep at least.
Yep.
You have 2, 3.
I got a quick question for you. So where does the Hadoop like pretty much go under the
Hadoop is, I think it's a one-on-one question. It will confuse everybody else. So maybe you and I should talk, and you should also join because you're using Hadoop already, right? Yeah. So go bother Shahul.
Yeah,
Go bug him.
He's never there.
Yeah, he's busy.
He was in the bridge deck. He was talking to other guy.
So we have something that Jermaine has written down. He's going to read it out loud and working on it. So he's going to read out loud and figure it out. See what we want to send to our sponsors.
VBA.
Visual Basic for Applications. Yes.
Microsoft.
Yes.
So that'd be another string of commands. That you can type
Yes.
in.
Yes. Yeah. Visual Basic is a language.
Yeah. You have experience making programming with macros.
Yes.
And it's very
Makes sense.
useful tool.
Yes, it is. Yes, indeed.
I downloaded it.
Yes.
Whenever I try to do figure out the IP addresses for my domain, I don't come back with anything. Does that not happen until I actually put something on it?
You guys can see it. You guys can see Wilson Jim.
And whenever I actually
Do you create a record?
go what?
A record?
Like clear one?
No. In Route 53, A, record type A. Create record, A. That's what you want, right?
So I put my own IP in?
Yeah, you want to give your droplet A record? Is that what you want to do?
No. I'm planning on putting stuff like using WordPress.
Droplet, right? Droplet? Or no
Well,
droplet?
it's my virtual machine on my own computer.
Your computer. What is the IP address?
Well, it's a
On this machine?
private IP.
Now, how you translate it to public IP address somehow.
Okay, so I have to figure out what my public is.
So the idea is, what is my IP?
Okay.
Right?
So yeah, I mean, there's
And it will change over time. Right? You move from here to the home, it'll change. Then you'll change the DNS records again. It's clumsy. Yes, shit. Exactly. That's why I said don't do it.
Well, I'm just trying to get something at least on the page so I show. So I can
It's
play
a
with
good
it.
idea what you're doing. I support that. I'll help you do that. But on a long-term basis, it's not the ideal. Not the ideal. Yeah, you should totally do it. Totally do it. But then when you get it, don't do it anymore.
Yeah, well, I just want to get the experience of actually building it.
Next, I'm with you. We'll do it.
Thank you.
We have to